Hey guys, welcome to Vertice Models. Today we're going to be painting Rotbone the Plague Surgeon, and we're going to be doing the Apostles of Contagion scheme. Right now we're just doing a white overspray. This will help our colors be more vibrant, and it'll allow us to know where our highlight spots are on the model. The first color we'll be basing him with is with an airbrush, and we're going to be using skeleton bone, and we're just aiming at the armor. The second layer will be on the armor again, and we're using mummy robes as a highlight. Having it brighter at the top of the model, towards the top. An airbrush really comes in handy. It allows basing really fast basing. Then we're going to be doing a stippling effect with dark stone from Army Painter, and we'll just be using a sponge to apply it. It'll give that broken up chip look to our armor. The next we'll be basing all the trim of the armor with shining silver. This is what he's looking like after that. Then the next color we'll be basing with is plate mail metal from Army Painter, and this will just be all the his weapons, his trinkets, the syringes, the drill on his arm. I wasn't able to film the next part, but I used true copper, and we used that to base the rails on the back of his backpack, the little bloatfly emblem on his wrist. And then we'll be using skelly hide to base the guts and the slugs on his vest there. After that, we'll be using Fire Dragon Bright from Citadel. Mine's already thinned down, but if you got a fresh bottle, make sure you thin it down. And we're just going to be basing the cloak. This is what he looks like after you got the Dragon Fire Bright on her. And next we'll be using Wizard Orb. We're basing the tubes the vials, the syringes. I did a little highlighting on the cloak, and I just added a white mix, and I just trimmed it out. Wasn't able to film that. We're doing the same thing here. We just got a white mix. We're just highlighting everything we based with the wizard on. After that, we'll be washing the model. The first color, or the first wash we're going to be using is Strong Tone from Army Painter. And it's like a dark brown wash. And we'll be washing all the metal pieces. So all the silver, all the gold on them. This is what it looks like after he's dried. Next color we'll be using is a blue tone wash, and we're just applying that on the horn. And with these washes, it's easy to move around while it's still wet. Next we'll be using Flesh Wash from Army Painter. Or they call them quick shades. And we'll be washing the cloak and the guts with the Flesh Wash. This is what he's looking like after those washes. And up to this point, you know, you can stop there and your model would look pretty good, but I like to do more weathering. And all we did here was mix some AK Interactive Rush Streaks with some mineral spirits until it's like the consistency of a wash, and now we're just applying it to our armor that we airbrushed. You don't have to be afraid about, you know, getting it on anything else, as you can just take a Q-tip and mineral spirits, just straight mineral spirits, and you can roll the Q-tip on, you know, the armor where you applied the rush streaks, and it takes it away. You can do this as much as you want, as little as you want. The main goal here was to get it in the cracks, in the crevices. This is after the rust has been applied. So now we're just going back and highlighting our trim using shining silver again. We're just gonna catch all the rivets and edge highlight the pads.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Now we're going to do the same thing for the gold, except for we're going to be using weapon bronze. It's a little brighter, a brighter copper color. And we're just going to go and hit all the spots we did with the true copper. And this is him highlighted. So the next thing we're going to do is use this oxide from Citadel. And we're going to try to implement, you know, where rust would settle or oxidize on metal. Not trying to be accurate here, we're just trying to make it look cool. And having these bright rusty colors helps it, you know, helps it pop. And now we're using a pigment powder from Vallejo, and we're just mixing a little bit of water with the brown rust, and we're just going to apply it to, you know, all the cracks and the little dimples in his armor where we think rust will settle. We're not trying to be accurate here either, we're just putting it where we think it would be. Now we'll be using another pigment powder. This one is just called Rust by Vallejo. And we're going to be hitting the same spots, except for we'll be using less. And this will be more targeted towards, you know, the center of the rivets and the cracks, where it would oxidize the most, or where it would rust the most. Where we think it would settle. And for the final highlight on the rust, we're doing the Fire Dragon Bright from Citadel. And basically just hitting the center of each of those rust spots. around the base of the rivets, the corner of pads. So this is what he's looking like after the pigment powders. And now we're just we're trying to do a lighting effect here. So I like to edge the pad and, you know, where I think the light would hit. So I'm just edging with white, and I'll put an overspray with the airbrush where I think the glow would hit, and these white edgings will help catch that light to make it seem like an illusion that it's glowing. And what I'm doing here is just, you know, my take on it. I like to do, you know, he's a plague surgeon, so I figured, you know, he's got stains on his cloak or whatever. So I just used the rust streaks to splatter on some stains, and now I'm using the dark stone, just to flick at it, and glistening blood on his weapons. I'm just flicking it, making blood splatter. And that's basically it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Let me know what y'all would like for me to make a tutorial on. Thanks for watching.